All right, we're on a little bit of a roll here.
Are we?
I mean, a couple of weeks,
You,
haven't had
Mike
to
is
insert another two-year break.
Mike is clearly not referring to all the preparation that went into before this video started recording, but
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's like good old times, right?
yeah,
We scheduled to start at 2. I have to fiddle around with technology until 2:30, and then maybe we get started.
So what are we talking about today, Mike?
So we are going to get Peter's hot take on the the retraction of Fable that took place 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if a 2-week delay, you can still call it a hot take, but Peter finally came around to looking at the Fable article.
Well, as seasoned journalists, what we're doing is looking back on recent events and giving our considered commentary rather than an ill-thought reaction,
which is
so many.
That's what people come to YouTube for.
That's exactly
considered opinions and well-researched facts.
Speaking of YouTube, you guys out there should like and subscribe. Like, not so important, but do subscribe. We are doing this for your edification and education.
Oh, you make it
so
sound
you will benefit.
Formal.
Click the button. Right. So here's what happened. Anthropic, a big company who does AI stuff, made something which scared the US government on the surface. They created an AI, an LLM, which was called Mythos, and it was very, very good at finding security vulnerabilities, and it's very good for cybersecurity. Recently, this was all like under wraps. Not many people had access to Mythos, and Anthropic kind of released this marketing material saying, "Oh, it's very dangerous and it's so good. It's much better than any human researcher." And
which we kind of talked about last week, this week, next week,
at some point,
in some episode.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it with the security vulnerability stuff and how all LLMs are getting really good at doing this. But like,
that's the one that just launched today. AI security nightmare. So.
Yes, I see today, but we're recording this in the future. So today in the we're not recording it in the future. The episode is coming out in the future. So today in the future is going to be a bit,
They get it.
Don't confuse me, Mike. Jesus. Okay, I know what I mean. Anyway, so Anthropic released what they called a Mythos class model called Fable, and it is basically the next generation of LLMs or next update. You know, its generation's a bit strong. And apparently, and so a couple of days after releasing it, the US banned its export from the US or banned its export, and also its use by any foreign people. So basically, Anthropic had to shut down access to it completely and turn it off for everybody.
Because of foreign national works at Anthropic, and they are banned from allowing foreign nationals to access it. Now you suddenly work at Anthropic and cannot access your most current model.
Yeah, and it's actually impossible for them to determine whether somebody who's using their, they've released some actual identification stuff now. It was basically, we can't tell who's using it, so therefore we have to turn it off completely, which is...
You know what would be useful? Some kind of universal ID verification.
I don't think that's such a good idea. Although that's kind of what happened, because Anthropic later said that they are going to be doing identity verification for some of the features in their models. So when you're using the LLM, it might stop and go, you have to verify your identity at this point and verify that you're a US citizen. I still think that Fable 5, or at least at the time of recording, is still banned. But there's a couple of interesting things about this that I wanted to talk about. So, first of all, Mike, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about the US government doing this? Do you think it's Yeah.
It seems very suspicious to me because my understanding is that the government banned it after Amazon complained. So it feels a little bit less like a national security concern than some kind of crony capitalism, corruption in our government, which I don't know if anybody's been following, but we've had a little bit of problem with that kind of thing lately. I don't really feel like the U.S. government has a lot of credibility right now on these kinds of things when it comes to national security, particularly recently, pretty bad track record. So do I think more generally think a government should be able to do this?
Yeah.
I probably feel a little bit more mixed on that too.
Yeah. So, okay. Addressing point one, it is interesting that in the last few days, as of the time of recording, OpenAI have released GPT 5.5-Cyber, which I think is going to be competing in terms of capabilities against Fable. And they have not been banned by the US government at all. But thinking about the ability to ban tech like this, my initial feeling is it's ridiculous. It's silly. It's pointless. Like, why bother? I mean, it's going to be like weeks before another competitor outside of the US catches up. So doing this kind of thing is just ridiculous, and it only harms the US economy. And
like what we talked about yesterday on the episode that launched whenever, flood of bug reports to all these software vendors. Like, this is kind of the thing that they're worried about, right? Like that somebody's going to use software to exploit a bug that has national security implications. But the technology's out there. It's not going to get better. Like, we got to just figure out how to deal with it.
This is the thing, right? So if I try to be slightly objective about it, because there was this big thing back in the 90s when RSA encryption was released. I think it was RSA. Yeah, RSA. And the US banned the export of RSA encryption, which was ridiculous and heavily mocked because you could perform RSA encryption is like one line of code. And people would wear like T-shirts with this code on it. And on the back, it would say, I'm an arms exporter, because, they were, essentially, by the US government's definition, were exporting munitions by just wearing a T-shirt outside of the US. So it all seems a bit silly. But the thing is, if I were to invent a gun made out of flour and water, and it was easily replicable by anybody at home with an oven, would it be wrong? It would be fair for the government to say, okay, you can't sell those guns to North Korea or whoever, even though it's easy for them to replicate it. They still should be saying to me, don't sell them to North Korea. Don't take it outside the country, right? I mean, let's say this gun is
should be able to do that.
They should, yeah, because I think it's a dangerous thing. And even if it's pointless, they've got to be able to sort of try. Just because it's not going to have much of an effect doesn't mean they shouldn't try, right?
I don't know.
I'm sort of split. I can't convince myself that they shouldn't try and do something about it, because otherwise the alternative is lawlessness, right?
Well, I feel like guns are a bad example in the US, first of all.
But these arms, it's counted as munitions. That's the whole the law that's being.
I mean, we do have limits as a private citizen. I mean, maybe we don't. I don't even know. Could I own a Patriot missile or sell that to somebody? I would think that would be a problem.
Exactly, right? But it's not. It's not. It's a private corporation anyway.
Yeah. So why? Okay. So tie that back to Mythos or to Fable.
Yeah.
You right.
Well, sure. So what they've done is they said that essentially Fable is weapons grade, and it could harm the US by being exported outside the country if it was used in the hands of foreign actors. And it's the same as with weapons and guns. It's the same law.
Yeah, I guess it feels different because it's knowledge, right? It's information. There's nothing inherently dangerous about it, unless you're now moving into 1984 territory and you're going to have allowed thoughts and disallowed thoughts.
Okay. Make it more advanced. Let's say Fable was able to trigger a nuclear war at will because it's so advanced it could hack any network on the planet.
So what you're exposing is that the networks are flawed and vulnerable to some kind of attack, and it just so happens that Fable is the first thing to be capable of that.
Sure,
but it's still only a matter of time until somebody figures it out.
Sure, everything you say is true, but I still don't think it's a good enough argument to say that the U.S. government shouldn't try and limit the exposure of things like this.
I guess, but it also, like, are they saying, hey, it's banned until we can patch our systems, or it's banned until we feel like unbanning it? Like,
I mean, it's I don't know. I definitely
if that's the case, that Fable or Mythos has unveiled a national security threat of that scope, fix the fucking national security threat.
Yeah, true, but I don't know. It's a bad example then. I don't know. Anyway, this has been the not so political update, and we'll be back next episode with a searing indictment of Trump's policies in Iran. So we won't really, I promise.